Okay, so Leetcode practice time. So there are two goals in this video. The first one is to see how to solve this problem, and then we are going to do some coding work on top of it. And the second one is to see how to behave in the interview properly. So let's get started. So in the interview, remember the first step in a coding interview is to always try to understand the problem. And if there is anything you need to clarify, please bring up the question to the interviewer and let's ask the interviewer to clarify. And also at the same time, think about some edge cases which you need to take special care of. So let's take a look at this question. So basic calculator 2. So given a string s which represents an expression, evaluate this expression and return its value. So the integer division should truncate towards zero, okay? So for example 1 is like this, and it's returning 7. Alright, so there could be some empty string like space. Okay, there could be some space in between, alright? So let's see some constraints. So the length of the string is for sure larger than 0. Okay, S contains integers and operators, which contains plus, non, minus, multiply, divide, separated by some number of spaces. Okay. And S represents a valid expression. Okay. All the integers in the expression are non-negative integers in the range. Sounds good. And the answer is guaranteed to fit in a 32-bit integer. Alright, it sounds good. So we don't need to worry about something like divide by 0 because it says that s represents a valid expression. Okay, so I think I kind of got the problem. Yeah, so okay, and we don't need to worry about like invalid expressions. So for example, there is no number but there is operator, so something like that, we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so having said that, the next step is about finding the solution. So it provides some easiness about the invalid expression checking. We don't need to worry about that. So I could not think of like too much of the edge case at the very beginning. But I would say the general solution is quite clear. So the general solution is to so the one sample rule is to try to break down the expression into numbers and operators. So we will keep a stack, and the stack contains all the integers. So first of all, when we encounter 3, we are going to push into the stack. And then when we encounter the plus, and so if it is plus, then we don't need to worry about it. Then go ahead and translate the next number. If it is minus, also we just need to push -2 into the stack. So for this one, first of all, we push 3 into it, and then we push 2 into it. Now we encounter the multiply operator, so we are going to pop the top element from the stack and times the next number for it, which is 4, and then we push the result into it. And then after everything, we pass through all the expressions, then we just pop everything from the stack and then sum up all together. So we are going to return 7 for this. And similarly for this one, when we encounter 3, we just push into it, and then we encounter the operator, and then we are going to translate the number following it. Yeah, so I would say that's pretty much it about the algorithm. So we encounter a number. So if it is the first number, just push it into stack, and then we translate one operator, and then one number follow up the operator. If it is plus, then push the number. If it is minus, push the negative number. If it is multiply or divide, then pop the top number from the stack and then do the operation and then re-push it, and at the end then we try to pop everything from the stack and then sum up them together. So I think that's it. Having said that, the total runtime is going to be all of n, which is n is the length of the string. Other than that, I think we should be good to go. So after you discuss with the interviewer about the general solution, the next step is about doing some coding work. So for coding, we care about the correctness of the code and the readability of the code, and now of course the speed is one factor to consider. So let's see, calculate as okay, so first of all, a stack is for the integers. The next thing is to try to translate the numbers. Okay, let's see. So let me define another helper function. Let's see, we are going to return a string, a integer. This is parse number. String s int the start index. So yeah, so int I is equal to 0. Okay, let's say num is equal to 0, and then int index is equal to start. So it's index is not equal to, well, index is smaller than s dot length. If s dot char at index is equal to empty, if it's a space, then we just skip it. Otherwise, if it is a number, if integer dot is there helper I think there is a helper function, but I kind of don't remember. So Java is digit. I think there should be a something. So this is character is digit. Okay, so okay, so if character dot is a digit, then maybe we can just get char c is equal to s dot char at the index. So that's so we don't need to call it over and over again to get the corresponding character. So if it is a digit, then what we're going to do is num, so times equal to 10, and num plus equal to the integer what is that? So it should be c minus 10. Sorry, c minus the character 0. All right, so this should be able to help us. And if it's empty, then continue. If it's digit, then we do it. Otherwise, it should be an operator. Then we need to we pretty much need to break out of this this one. At the end, we will plus the index here. Alright, so and finally you're going to return index. So this means we are going to parse the string from the start index for the number until we finally find the corresponding number, and then we return the index after the index which comes after the last digit of the number we just get from the string. Alright, so next thing is alright, so it should be passed. So the next thing is about alright, so first of all you say alright, stack dot add so how to say that? So if it is the first time, let's say it is the first time so first I would say first num is equal to parse num s starting from 0. Okay, so actually you need to return two things. The one is the index and the other one is a corresponding number. So so maybe we need to define a class. Let's call it num and index, and then we have two things. One is the number and the other one is the index. Okay, so maybe just pair. We just call it pair, and we give it initializer. Constructor. So public pair. This is int num and int index. And this dot num is equal to num. This dot index is equal to index. Yeah. So this one we are finally going to return new pair. One is the num, the other one is the index. Okay. So this one we are going to return. We get the pair, which is a pair, and you say alright. So the stack is equal dot put add pair dot num, and then we are going to start from the next one, which is int I is equal to pair dot index, and the I smaller than s dot length plus I. So first of all, we are going to parse the operator. So if s dot car at so car c is equal to s dot car at not really. So if it is if it's like something like this, then it wouldn't make too much of this sense. Okay, so let's say int idx is equal to pair dot index, and well idx is smaller than s dot length. Okay, that's the thing I think is better. So the first one is we need to parse the operator. So if so it's still s dot car operator is equal to s dot car at idx. Okay, so if operator is equal to a plus, then we just simply do parse what is that? We just simply do stack dot add parse num string and the index starting from idx plus 1. Yes. No, so actually we need to get the pair p is maybe just use pair is equal to this one, and we added the pair dot num, and then the index, so idx is equal to pair dot index. Okay, so else if the operator is equal to a minus, then we will, what we would do is we just to put 0 minus this one. Okay, and then okay, sounds good. So if operator is a equal to the multiply, then it's time for us to say, alright, so I want to get a number for sure, and finally we are going to set the index for sure, and at the same time we will need to have so we will have int, let's say temp is equal to stack dot pop times the pair dot num, and we are going to say stack dot add the temp. Alright, and else it should be, or maybe it's better to do something like that. So if operator is equal to a division, so we are going to do this. It seems like we are having a lot of duplicate code here, so actually we just need to have the pair extracted for every places, then we are going to set the index finally. Yeah, so that makes the code much simpler. So int temp is equal to stack dot pop and divide by pair dot num, and then stack dot add the temp. Alright, it sounds good. So the next thing is int num is equal to, let's say sum is equal to 0. So well, stack is not empty. We are going to sum equal plus equal stack dot pop. Okay, and then we finally return sum. Yeah, so that's pretty much about code, but remember always to do some testing after you're done with the code. So first of all is to do some sanity check to check the logic, and maybe the better way is to go through an example and at the same time explain how this piece of code is going to work, and also think about some test cases to increase the test coverage. So let's see, for this one we have 0. Okay, so at the very beginning, let's take the example which is the first one. So at the very beginning the stack is empty and the pair is equal to parse num. So for the parse num, starting from index 0, num is equal to 0. Okay, so if it is empty, then we just continue. Otherwise it is, if it is a digit, then times 10 and plus equal to this one. Otherwise, it's not a digit, then we just simply break. So, okay, so if we simply break it. Alright, so, yeah, it looks good. Yeah, it looks good. So first of all, we parse 3 and insert it into the stack. So now the stack looks like something like this. And then the next thing, we parse the operator, and then we parse the number. So we have the operator as plus and the number as 2. So it is plus, so we are going to push the 2 into the stack. And then we have the operator as multiply, and then the number as 2, so it falls into this branch. So we are going to pop the top element, which is 2, from it, and then times 2, and then which is 4, we add the 4 into it. So finally, I think, okay, so finally, yeah, so finally we will have the stack as this, and then we pop everything, sum of them up, which is going to return 7. Alright, so it seems to be, yeah, I think it seems to be okay. Let's give it a try by running this piece of code. Okay, so it's compile. Okay, so minus the semicolon. Okay, another. So this one returns. Oh, okay, so another typo. You should return the pair. Okay, now it's accepted. And let's see. So its time limit exceeded. I think there is some. Yeah, so I think there. Oh, okay. So if it is some empty thing, I think this definitely is a bug. If it is empty thing, we just keep continue. If it's we just keep continue, but without doing the index plus plus. So instead, I think we should the plus plus index and then continue. So in this way, I think it should be good. Okay, so now it's accepted. We fix this bug. Alright, so that's it for this coding question. Okay, so the last thing is about test coverage. So the test coverage definitely set up some impressions, including the plus, multiply, divide, and minus, and also consider the empty string in between. So otherwise, I think that should be good enough regarding the test coverage. Should be able to cover most of all the branches in this code base. Yeah, so that's it for this coding question. So if you have any question about this puzzle, about the solution, please leave some comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumb up, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.